I don't know about you, but I'm pretty disappointed with Apple's lack of innovation because it's just non-existent. You can look back and see patterns of this in previous versions of different iPhones. Like a good example is the 13 and the 14. I always say that the 13 best iPhone, that was like the last time they actually had some innovation. And even that, it's kind of a stretch. The 13 was like a perfected 12. 12 had all the innovation, 13 perfected that. And then it just stopped. We're 3 years later and it still feels like we just have a 13. The thing is, and I saw this in a video and it's such a good point, there's a 5 PlayStations. We're on 16 iPhones, technically more. Remember when Apple used to do the S phones? Go back to that and count what number we'd actually be on if they did what they started doing after the 11. The main point is nobody wants a new phone every single year. It's convenient because it's like, oh, I don't like this feature. Let me wait for them to add just one more feature next year. That'll push me over the line. Go out and buy one. I think this year's just a very good example of Apple just putting out a phone to put out a phone. It is not doing well. People are returning 16 Pro specifically because they realized, why the fuck do I need a Pro when the regular 16 is fine? And then even then, people that didn't get the 16 and maybe went and got a used 15 were just thinking, why would I buy the same phone for more money to get a button and an upgraded chip that honestly doesn't really do much for me? If you look at a 15 and a 16 side by side, as an average consumer, I promise you're not going to notice a single difference. It might be like 0.2 seconds faster. Even the gold colors, like, it's whatever, man. Like, Apple's been running out of ink with their phones, so I don't know what's going on there. It's also prominent in more than just the iPhones. I mean, it's everything. They didn't really seem to like be as enthusiastic about the watches as they used to be. The iPad was probably the biggest change of this year. It's significantly thinner. The screen is nicer. The speakers sound better. You got a new pencil. It's got very visible upgrades. I feel like if you got like the most recent iPad Pro, I mean, you know, like that's still like, it's teetering on that line of like, that's not really worth it. Maybe that's your first iPad. Sure. Like, honestly, I could respect that. Not the phones, not the watch. But besides all the cosmetic disappointment, the main thing that pissed people off and made them return the phone, one of the other key factors, Apple promised all these AI features and they were talking of really pumping up the phone as this is the first Apple AI phone. It's like, okay, where's the AI? I'm on the fucking beta. They just released 18.1 beta 6. There's still no fucking Genmoji. There's the magic eraser. There's the summary thing. Don't get me wrong, like it's cool to have it on iPhone, but I mean, Apple's just playing consistent catch up with Android. Like, the only difference being Google and Samsung already have these things out, and Apple's like, we might need to wait till 2025, but we're going to release the phone in 2024, so we hope that's okay with you. Actually, we don't care. That's going to be okay with you because we're going to make it so. Honestly, dude, no one would have cared if you hadn't pumped it up to be like this amazing AI phone, because by the time you roll out the features, no one's going to care. It's like ruining the ending of a movie, kind of. Like, sure, it's your first phone that's going to support AI, but maybe don't push it out like, hey, this is our best AI iPhone that's ever. It's absolutely not. I think this whole thing just pushed home, you know, maybe don't make a phone every year when clearly you don't need to, and maybe don't push software so much. Like, you don't need to release a new version of iOS every single year. You can take your time. I don't know if Apple's like worried about that or what, or they feel like users are going to leave if they don't release something new every year. That's just kind of where I feel like go back to the S idea. Don't release an iPhone 17 next year. If you, for whatever reason, just feel inclined to release a phone every fucking year, fine. Do iPhone 16s. No one was ever complaining about the S phones. I don't really know why they stopped. I also don't know why they skipped iPhone 9. That's weird, but whatever. Another thing, it just feels like Apple is starting to lack in all departments, especially the security department. I mean, dude, we got full-on iPhone 16 unboxings a few days before the launch even happened. We got 16 Pro, Ultra 2 in the matte black, Apple Watch 10, AirPods 4, and now we got MacBook Pro 14-inch unboxing early from guys in Russia that are just chilling, being like, I got this brand new, like nothing is wrong, and no one cares. I know Twitter's fucking crazy, but I found the clips on YouTube. I don't get it. I don't know, dude. It's like the same kind of feeling that you get when someone's burnt out. It's kind of sad, but it's also like, no one is pressuring you to put out a phone or a device every single year. Like, I feel like if anything, you would gain more respect by just don't put out something every year. If you do, make it like a little update. Again, with the S phones, like that, that's fine. You don't need to be like All the car companies putting out a car every single year, like what they do is fine. You don't have to buy this year's phone. They're gonna make it, but it's not like they scrap the other models like Apple does, because you can't buy a 15 Pro right now from Apple. It's gone. The entire 15 Pro line is gone. Every year, gone. Why? You want to know why? Because they know when you look at them on that compare page that they have, you're gonna be like, why the fuck would I buy a 16 Pro? This seems fine. It's cheaper. I'd like that, please. No, you get a 16 Pro. It just seems greedy. It's just a lack of innovation. That's what it is. Like, that's what it comes down to. Make an iPhone every 3 years. You can release an S version every year and a half. Make an S phone again. People really enjoyed that. Like, you don't feel pressured to like have the newest thing. There's people being like, I don't feel like my 15 is sufficient anymore. How? I film on a fucking 13 Pro still. Whenever I'm filming this phone, the 13 Pro, it's fine. Like, I don't understand, but it's like a thing. And Apple's become this like status symbol. They're literally the hippie company that could, but whatever. It's a fucking status symbol to have a fruit on your phone, bro. That's insane. I feel like having a Samsung is more of like I feel like you're more intelligent if you have an Android phone than you are if you have an iPhone. I don't think you're dumb. I'm just like, you have an Android. I feel like you're probably more intelligent. Goes back to Apple not being innovative anymore. Kind of sad. That was like what they're known for. Their attention to detail and consistent innovation. They're gonna start going downhill if they don't stop making stuff until it's ready to be out. The best thing that came out of this year, I have not a single bad thing to say about these. These are great. And AirPods have always been probably like one of the most innovative things Apple's ever made. That's my take. I'm disappointed. Stop making phones, man. Like, you don't need to be doing that every year. I'm sure you guys are tired too. Do what you did with the Apple Watch Ultra 2 this year. I thought that was actually really nice. That was like refreshing. I was like, oh great. Here comes Ultra 3 and then no. Ultra 2, new color. Implement that on iPhone. Pretty much what you do every year. Just do that. Take off the extra number. Keep the old one, put an S. Give us some more color options besides gray, black, diluted color. Where's the burgundy iPhone, man? I would just stop making shit every year.